won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip the switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back into Pregaming here on Sports Money, the SMN, as we are coining ourselves here in 2026. Hope everyone's having a good day. We're at hump day, middle of the week, and we're almost to the weekend. I got to pull my zipper up. I'm zipping. I'm chilling. I wish I was grilling and chilling. Summertime mode, but we are middle of the winter and we are at hump day, and we got a live stream going tomorrow night. So we're going to help you guys ease into this weekend. It's a huge football weekend. Maybe. Is this one of the best all year? This might be the best all year. I mean, let's be honest. We got Thursday night college football playoff semifinal, Miami and Ole Miss. Everyone's excited to see how that's going to go down. Friday rolls in and we got ourselves a little battle between Indiana and Oregon. Then we roll into Saturday with 2 NFL games, 3 NFL games on Sunday, and then a big one on Monday. That is 5 straight days of the most meaningful football of the year. I'm going to say this is the best weekend in football. I'm going to go official. That's official. That's officially my best bet. And speaking of, I released a video today for my best bet for the Oregon and Indiana Peach Bowl down there in Atlanta. You guys can check that out. Of course, members get the first look while everything's doing what it's doing right now, getting itself situated on the YouTube timeline. You can go out there and access it right now. Everybody else will be able to check it out around, I think 9 o'clock is the release point tonight. I think that's pretty much the way we'll do it going forward, is you get that video probably 7-8 hours in advance of it going live to be able to get there and take advantage of the best lines, or at least the lines as they are released. So that will be out tonight for the public at 9. But everybody that's green can go out there and check it out already. Hear the breakdown. I try to keep them around 4 minutes. Some interesting trends, some interesting thoughts, some interesting angles, some interesting bets. And then as we get closer to game time, my best bets will be available at Winnable. I'll make sure to get you guys in the know as we try to put the bow on the best college football season I think I've ever had. At least a bowl season wise. I mean, the NFL or college football regular season, pretty good. Bowl season, pretty knocked it out of the park. Check the box as we reflect on this thing here with just 3 games left in college football. So we've got action to talk about this evening. We've got ourselves some things going on with Indiana and Maryland. It's a 6:30 start, so you got to know something. You know about me. If the show runs from 6 to 7 and I'm popping off a 6:30 start, I better really like it. Because historically, I feel like I rushed to get it in there and I rushed to take the L. So I really like this spot tonight. We're going to talk about Cal and Virginia. Then we're going to talk about Utah and Colorado to bring us through a 3-game pack of college basketball. We got 5 more plays, I believe, over at Winnable. Then we'll talk about the Calgary Flames and the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal, the Senators and the Mammoth, and the Blues and the Blackhawks. It's a short NHL card tonight. I think it's a 6-game NHL card. So I found 3 plays I really like for you guys there. Then we will move into the NBA for the closer and rip off a 4-pack. We got the Raptors and Hornets. I gave that one out way earlier today as the Instagram play of the day. I'll tell you now, I'm nervous. Nervous because it seems like everybody is using the angle. And I don't know if it's just because we developed it or we encouraged it or we've been talking about it all season or they're just kind of now figuring out what the hell's been working. Then we're going to talk about the Wizards and Sixers. That's a fun spot. We'll get into the Clippers and the Knicks before we bring her on home. Bring her on home to me with the Suns-Grizzlies game. I feel like I was looking at this afternoon. I was like, am I getting involved in a Grizzlies game again? Really? This is the direction we're going to go down with this thing. But I appreciate everybody joining us. I'm excited. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to help advance our Winter Olympics options this evening. Going to take another step forward as we grow some commitment to the Winter Olympics in Milan. It'll be fun to see what's going on in Italy, but I'm excited. I'm hoping it works out the way I expect it to. I'm hoping. And if it does, you know me, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I can't keep secrets. So I'll do my best to make sure I keep my lip zipped until we know that it's going to officially flip these bookmakers. And if we can, it's going to really light up this Winter Olympics season. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys are getting excited for the Winter Olympics. We're just a couple weeks away. We're like, what, 5 weeks away, 6 weeks away? Man, oh man, it's going to be time to put the bookies away. But got to get into a rhythm here. I feel like since I've changed the office setup around here, my rhythm, speaking of rhythm and the Jamaican bobsled team, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on, man. It's bobsled time. I feel like I got to get it going. So that being said, not the finest of hours last night. Kind of disappointing overall. Finished off the night with a loss to Nevada. Last minute buzzer beater by St. John's, but that didn't matter. They busted up Butler. Butler got crunched. Good news. Penn State, home dog, Big Ten. Think about that as we're about to talk about this Maryland game. Big dog. Penn State almost won outright, 23 points. There's a spot that I put on the card tonight that reminds me a little bit of that one because I gave that one out to winnable at 20.5. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 20.5 that I was looking at earlier. Then it moved to 23, and I was like, man, I loved it at 20.5. I love it. I absolutely adore it at 23. So I've got a spot like that tonight in the NBA. You can look at the card, try to figure it out, but it's like, man, I already liked it. And now you're going to give me more points on it. UCF got busted up. They lost by 9. So that sucks. Let's see. Let's analyze what was working for us. Nothing in fucking college hoops. Nevada takes a loss by 5. You know what's fucked up? I'll take you through my process last evening as I was enjoying a couple of adult beverages as I sat there and I was watching the game and I was like, I'm on New Mexico. And all day, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just twilight years. I'm not that old, but all day I was flip-flopping between New Mexico and Nevada. I think I even did it on the show. And then I hammered New Mexico. I was like, that's looking pretty good. And then I was like, wait a minute, Nevada starts at 11. I don't know what happened there. I guess I was just maybe stroking. I'm not sure. But hockey-wise, not terrible. The Sabres under 6 did not cash. The Sabres, man, 5-3 final over the Vancouver Canucks. But Tampa Bay got there for us 4-2 over the Colorado Avalanche. No, it was not that bounce back spot. We talked about that. We analyzed the schedule for the next 4 games for the Colorado Avalanche. So I hope you guys believe in that as I do. That's why I take the time to run through it with you guys. And then, of course, the over 6.5 in that game between the San Jose Sharks and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Never in doubt. Felt like it was 1-0 at the end of the first period. I was like, shit, this is in doubt. And then, boom, explosion of goals. San Jose, man, getting it going out there. And then as far as the NBA is concerned, you know, it's bittersweet that we wave a fond farewell to our 11 straight game trend of shit team off a road game and a total over 236.5. It went 1-1 last night, so we split. The free play I gave out on Instagram cashed. The play I gave out to you guys here did not cash. So Memphis gets there. Memphis wins outright as a better. So there's that. Memphis on the third game in 4 nights too, because they had that Lakers disaster. Then we got the Pelicans. Speaking of the Lakers, cold 3-minute stretch down the end, and the Pelicans can't cover that spread. 111-103. I had to look back at that one twice. I was like, what happened? That thing was gold. I was cashing my checks. And then the over 237.5 in that Miami-Minnesota game did not cash. So, yeah, got to be transparent. Got to stay accountable to the craft. It's the only currency that we have when it comes down to it. But I am excited. I'm excited about a bunch of things. I'm excited about the college football playoffs game I just put out there for you guys. I'm I'm excited to go live tomorrow night and watch this college football playoff situation. I think we've got two incredibly evenly matched games going on out there. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun seeing the coaching transitions. Then Friday, we're going to go live. We're going to give you guys our NFL breakdown with my guy, the Shark, and I. Remember, I've got 3 3-1s and a 4-0 in my last 4 weeks of, and it might even be better. I just can't think past the last month. And so NFL games and breakdowns for this weekend, we're going to give those to you guys served up on a silver platter. And there's just a lot of things happening here at Sports Money. So get excited, you guys. I hope you're ready. We're going to have, I think this next quarter of the year is going to be a incredibly profitable season. We got to get on the schneid, though. We got to get off the schneid, I should say. And see if we can't find a way to get these cashers in our back pocket. So I told you guys right off the gate, and we'll go through and recognize and see who's here as well. But because it is 6:30, I am taking this Maryland side of things here. It is the home team in the Big Ten, and that is a similar situation as we had with Penn State last night. It's not just that it's in that situation, though. I mean, we look at a couple of different things. It's kind of an early spot out there. I know look at Indiana is football geared up right now. So sometimes I believe in the hot city philosophy here, but 8.5 points is just too many. There have not been too many true road games, especially in division for this Indiana squad. So 55% of the bets and 53% of the cash believe in the Indiana Hoosiers. But I don't know, 149.5 moved down to 146.5, suggesting a lower scoring game. This is literally 50-50 on the total. They're not entirely sure what to make of it. And I get it. Indiana's built, man. They're stocked. They've always been a basketball school. Now they're trying to become a football school. They could potentially cement themselves into that process and recognition. But I don't know. I'm not enamored by their current roster or their current. I know you can only play who's in front of you. But it's a big step up in class. And if you're Maryland, I mean, you've been getting pretty dusted. So, like, this is pretty much the season on the line for this Maryland team already. I know it's kind of a little early to exaggerate and say that, but aside from Old Dominion, who they smoked 73-58, they've literally been getting dusted. They lost to Iowa at Iowa 83-64. They lost to Michigan 101-83. They lost to Virginia 80-72. They lost to Oregon 64-54. Now or never, boys. And you're getting 8.5 points with the Big Ten home dog strategy in play. And if you want the numbers behind it, the Big Ten home dogs are 59-26 in their last 85 games. So doesn't mean I think that, I mean, Maryland, listen, not a bad idea to sprinkle a little on the old Maryland money line, but my favorite spot there is to take the 8.5. And it's a 6:30 game. So I obviously really like the situation. I like the matchup. I like the personnel. I just like everything about this game on the Maryland side of things. We just need Maryland to show up, because if it doesn't, this will be the last 6:30 game I pop out there. How about that? That be fair? We'll start the show off with a play and see who's here checking in with us. Get your best bets in the chat. I see Robert McCormick says that Newcastle money line was a breeze, dude. So I put it out there on Winnable this afternoon, and it was kind of a last minute thing, right? That's where the text alerts come into play. Cause it was like maybe 15, 20 minutes before the game started. And I was just running around and doing an errand. And I was like, I really like this spot. Cause I feel like, as the defending champs, they should have won quite a bit, and they just keep losing. Every time I look, they're tied or they're losing. They scored the goal and it got taken away. And I was like, fuck, that's usually never a good sign in the EPL in the first 15 minutes of the game or 18 minutes of the game. And then I see the other side scores, and I'm like, oh no, there it is. Then they're down 2-1. And then I see they tied it up 2-2. And then I see they get a penalty kick for the other side. I'm like, oh fuck, it's 3-3. It's like 88-minute mark. So there's only a couple of minutes left in the game. Then they get a red card or a penalty kick. And I'm like, all right, well, they're going to tie it up, but we're going to lose. And then I took my head away, and I'm looking at something else, and I come back and I look, I'm like, goal. Are they still fucking playing? Was that like the 12th minute of extra time? I mean, tell me they didn't want Newcastle to win that game without telling me they didn't want Newcastle to win that game. I mean, come on. That was just a fucking great spot there. So that's a fun little game. I like to get some afternoon action. Shout out to Redbeard. Says hit the like on the way in, scumbags. I do want to thank you guys, not just for being the best scumbags in the business, but it was very rewarding today to see the early members got access to, or the members got early access to the Indiana game. So I just want the video that I put out there. appreciate you guys taking the time to like it and comment to it. I responded. I got everybody a response back in the comments, but it only takes a second, and it literally does help us out an absolute ton. So when that video hits the street running, that means it goes public. We're all going to have a ton of likes. We're going to have a ton of comments. We're going to have a ton of views on it. And that should help to continue to grow this thing so that we can promote the brand and get new people in here, man. These are the biggest weekends of the year for football. And these are high search games. So it's important to smash those like buttons. Video alike. Shout out to Redbeard. Shout out to Blake M. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Gary Franks in the house. Parma Jake. What up, Parma Jake? There's AJ. AJ's checking in. Says, evening, everybody. Stop Geo Engineering. Scott says, Mikey, what's up? I like Baylor plus 4.5. Any thoughts? I do like to answer as part of the perks of being a member at the Sports Money community. I do like to try to give you guys some of my thoughts on some of these games. I really don't. Isn't it a weird line? I mean, Iowa State's ranked number 3, and they're laying 4.5. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I guess you could argue the other way and say, well, that seems to be a reasonable number. I don't know. I don't want to talk you off a dog. Nothing significant. I mean, look, teams favored against unranked teams after a home run. So a couple of games at home, getting on the road, they're ranked and they're the favorite. They do win. They're 14-2. In other words, they get time at home gym to perfect the craft, get everything tight and right, then take this boat out on the road for a spin. And when they go out on that spin, they put the other team in the spin cycle. So, but I don't want to talk you off a dog. Don't want to talk you off a dog, Scott. Good luck to you. Parma Jake, this member for 15 months. Let's go. Appreciate you, Parma Jake, my dude. Robert McCormick says, good evening. Jerry Davis likes the Maryland Moneylines sprinkle. Like that Jerry and I are looking at this thing in the same lens. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mikey Money. Let's cash and have a troll-free night. And he liked the Grizzlies call. Mr. Whiskers is in the house. Appreciate him checking in here. Jerry Davis says, I ate shit on Colorado State. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? It happens, Jerry. What are you going to do? Peter Grassick says, that's funny. We had Jamaican bobsled t-shirts made up back in high school. Maybe we do that and we get the Sports Money guys. We get our pictures on the. Maybe that'll be something we do for the Olympic coverage. I don't know, but I'm excited about the option here. Hopefully, this connection tonight can get us where I expect we need to be to really capitalize on this Olympic coverage. Peter Grazzi says, Italy, amazing place. If you haven't been there, is a must-do on the bucket list. It's one place I haven't been to. I mean, that's not what I mean. I haven't been to a lot of places, but I've been to a lot of places. And Mr. Whisker says, Nuggets money line, Bucks plus 6.5. There's that Newcastle. Was a breeze. Jerry Davis says, I'm going over. Peter Grassi says, hey, we do the metric analysis and rely on its standard protocol. It's long-term gain in the end. Of course it is, my dude. Andrew K. Brunson had 0 assists last game. I'm going to take Brunson over 6.5 tonight. PWR Critter says, let's get that bag. Nicholas Handy says, Indiana rules. From Indianapolis. Chosen One. What's up, Chosen One? He's got the under 147.5. Jerry Davis is guessing Cunningham is out since the Bulls just dropped a +8. Isn't that funny? John Morant was out. That line didn't move, and they still ended up winning outright. Isn't that funny? You guys ever think about that when you see these player injuries? Peter Grassi says NFL playoffs going to be a blast. We got some really good games. Jerry Davis is Baylor plus 4.5 and over 155. I bet last night, and neither has moved a bit. AOD says Roma's the sheet. Nice, dude. You guys are fucking world travelers, man. Cultured world travelers. The Futon Bet says Paul Pelicans. Pelican Bay. New program. 23-hour lockdown. Let's go. Ramon Scott's in the house. Says, can someone give me a pick on the total in the Radford Presbyterian game? Red Hose, Blue Hose? Let's go. All right, you guys, I'm ready to go here as well. So we kick this thing off. Let's see if we can't get the 630 cash in our bag. Keep bringing your best bets in. I want to keep shouting them out. Let's keep talking about these games. Let's continue a little different spin here. I do like to start with the NHL. It is my passion project, but like to keep it consistent as well. And since we started with college basketball, let's move into this next game. This is going to be a later spot, not the late night special, but a later game. And this later game features Cal and Virginia in an ACC battle. We know what these games can look like. We know how these things can go down, but big numbers on this game right now. 13-2. Cal comes trotting in here with a 1-1, 500 ACC record, as does Virginia. Now, that Duke game did not get over the number. I told you guys I leaned that way last night, right? Still an exciting game. Kind of got a little lopsided, kind of got a little one way. I mean, this one here is strange because they're expecting a huge number and Virginia's at home, but they got a huge total. And so those kind of just jumped out to me on the page and said, I think they got the total way too fucking high. And we'll see how it shakes out in the end here, but minus 12.5 is where the line opened. So Virginia should absolutely put the belt to the ass of this Cal side of things. It's moved to 13.5. And you got the public smashing Cal right now. 73% of the bets on the Cal side of things with only 54% of the cash. So some of the bigger bettors are saying there's no way. This ain't enough points. And the recognition, for all what it's worth, the books are acknowledging that they're a little concerned about that Virginia position that they've got out there. 147.5 have moved to 148.5. And you got 80% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the under. So this is where I'm looking at this game going, I mean, look, if Virginia wins this game, as the books are expecting, they should not just win it, but dominate this game. What is it that they do very well at an incredibly high rate? Possession control. Then on top of this, what's even more crazy about that, they haven't scored. I mean, I guess the reality is that they're scoring machines. So even though they're just shooting at an incredibly high clip, 37% of its shots from beyond the three. I mean, maybe that's how they blow this team out. Maybe that's as simple as it is. And that's how Cal just gets their shit pushed in here. But 39th in overall defense efficiency. And that's the piece that got me thinking two things for this game. One, I like the under. Why do I like the under? Because Virginia in college hoops continues. By the way, West Virginia, what was another under that we talked about yesterday? That one cashed. I just break a tooth. It's that fucking cavity. It's cavity and I can feel the crunchy. 21st, 14 days. And then I'm going to be a giant pussy. Bitch and complain about how sore I am. Probably won't have a show on the 21st. Just speculating that. In any event, though, the home unders for Virginia, 27-20 on a 22-4 run in this situation. This is just way too many points. And if you want to look for a backup play, if you really want to try to capitalize on this exposure or exploit this number, 67.5 on the team total side for Cal. I mean, maybe the first half. Let me see what the first half under is here. Now that we're talking about this aloud, it is a later game. There might be plenty of opportunity for us to go out there and just fire away. I mean, sometimes you got to really, one unit bets, keep it flat, keep it consistent, but three separate spots, all kind of working around a consistent angle that's paid us dividends time and again. Just seems like we got to maximize these uniquenesses when they come across us. And the fact that this total is not sitting at like 128 or 129 kind of tells me that, yeah, we're going to see this high efficient defense on the Virginia side of things just shut this Cavaliers side down. The reason I like to start with the first half is because if it does become a blowout, I'm obviously concerned about bench players and shit like that getting involved in this thing. So first half Cal, team total under. All right, 31.5. 68.5 is the full game. And it's come down to 67.5. All right, I'm going to take the first half. I'm going to add this first half under right now. I know it's 9 o'clock, but chances are I'll end up fucking forgetting and then I'll be pissed. Bear with me. Please hold. All right, that's the first half team total under 31.5. Doesn't take much to sway me. Just a little bit. Slide a couple ducats around on that thing. Put another unit. Stretch that unit all over the place, as MMA Jeff likes to say. Appreciate everybody rocking here. Let's keep her going as we move on down the line. Let's see what you guys have to say. Radford and Presbyterian Ramon. Ramon's in the red, or Ramon's in the green. Of course, I got to give my guy Ramon Scott a little love here. See what this game looks like. I need rotation orders though. There's so many fucking games. I'm gonna be strolling forever. I can't find it. Where is it? Presbyterian. There it is. Dude. Why not? I mean, you gotta take the red hose, blue hose, right? 2 straight wins, plus 6.5. Oh, you know what? No, it's okay. It's a clean one. I thought maybe it was part of the Sharp Respected betting analysis. It is not. Sharp Respected betting information came in today on 2 spots, Holy Cross and Fordham. Holy Cross and Fordham. So there's a little extra something for you guys, a little Sharp Respected college betting analysis. You haven't heard me talk too much about it because, frankly, I find if they're favorites, they win, and if they're dogs, they get fucked. But last night they went 2-1. Same better went 2-1 last night. Had Toledo minus 7.5, Oak State minus 2.5, and then Ohio minus 4.5. I think Ohio won by 2 or 3 points, if I recall correctly. And so they've got Holy Cross and Fordham tonight. Do with that information what you will. I'd like to share it with you guys. Caring is sharing. Sharing's caring. Scott loves Radford. Mr. Wesker says, Varone, what do you think of Montreal Canadiens? Lados. Nicholas Handy's giving the fire logo out there. Gary Davis says, want to play Cal, but coming off miracle win is worrisome. Gary Davis says, Mike, that Duke total was 181.5 total BS, missing the over. Yeah, I know. I know, dude. It's like some of these teams just flatten out down the stretch. You know, I don't like to play. Like some people will take a big total or a big side in a game, right? They'll take like it's minus 24, and they'll see it's like minus, 14 in the first half, and they're like, "Well, I'll chop this number in half." I don't like doing that. I feel like I never win in those situations. Maybe never's a harsh word, but I'll take a team like I said that first half and a team total under. I like those plays. Those are some of my favorites. Plus, I don't have to fucking sit on it that long. Peter says, "Don't worry about the Dennis gas for the big hammer." No. Yeah, dude, I'd rather just be gassed out. Gas me out, man. Just fucking wake me up when it's over. You know what I mean? Put my headphones in and I don't know, listen to Ramon. Listen to the morning steam while I'm gassed out. Getting my tooth kicked. It does hurt though. Since they jostled around with it, it does hurt. So they had the option for me to take it out tomorrow. Frankly, I gotta psych myself up for it. That's what it's got to come down to. And tomorrow's not enough time for me to psych myself up. I got to deal with some pain for a little bit. I literally got to sleep on it a couple of days to realize that, okay, let's just go get it done. I'm going to go get it done with this last game on the college hoops card here tonight. As we keep a brisk pace, keep this thing moving, try to give you guys a bunch of action, give you a bunch of plays, give you a bunch of Sharp Respected betting information as well. And hopefully give you some fun Olympic information here shortly too. But we will see. I'm jacked up. Winter Olympics are my favorite. You guys have heard me say it time and again. So we're going to be betting. And I think I'll be able to solve that where we're going to bet it situation. So we'll see. Utah and Colorado opened at 10.5, have moved to 9.5. And big money coming in on this Utah side of things. 73% of the bets, 76% of the cash. Anyhow, this total's come down as well from 163.5 to 162.5 with 81% of the bets and 81% of the cash banging in on the under in this Buffalo's Utes matchup. And frankly, I think there's, as my boys said, there's levels of this shit, man. Utah comes into this thing and I don't know. They've been getting hosed. They've been getting blasted by the teams they should be getting blasted by. I mean, they took down Cal Baptist. That's like they got 91 points. They put up 101 on Eastern Washington, but when they play anybody of substance, they struggle to get points on the board. Now 97-78 against Arizona, but they still didn't cover. So this team just kind of continues to be mired in mediocrity. Is that a fair situation to say? The one thing that they probably do better, and this is where I think their discount is their 3 points. They're a better 3-point shooting, not by much, but they are a better percentage ahead of Colorado in the 3-point game. And the problem is you're on the road. So like your strength almost becomes a weakness in a bad situation with a big spread out there. I'm going to lay the 9.5. I think the defense is going to be, again, one of those situations like we talked about with Virginia. Control the pace. They don't get a ton of turnovers out there. They just manage the ball. They get second chance opportunities, and they're home. They're the home squad in this case here, which means there's elevation factors that go into this play for Utah, although Utah's an elevation team as well. So, I just like the fact that Utah's they're 500. They're 500 against the spread their last 4 games out there, but kind of get this Colorado team that I think is underrated. And frankly, you kind of look at their trend process, right? Their trend perspective as far as covering the numbers or not, right? Trends against the spread, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They play a UTSA Roadrunners team and they mop them up. 22.5 points though. So they should have mopped them up and they covered. Then because they go and they do what they're supposed to do with a big spread, they play a Portland State. They win, but they don't cover in that game because the line's inflated, coming off that big 22.5 point cover. Then they play a Stanford team, 2.5 points, huge line variance, right? This thing's come down 14 points. They end up losing outright. They lose outright as 15.5 point favorites at home against North Colorado. Northern Colorado always seems to be, obviously it's a rivalry of some degree, right? But then they go down to Arizona State, 95-89. They get it back together as a 1.5 point dog. That's a big road win to come out there and pick that thing up. So I'm going to ride the Colorado Buffalo. Give me the Buffalo to do some damage. Lay that 9.5 points and feel pretty fucking good about it. How about that? Take this. Where's that? There's our banner here. There it is. Boom. Boom. Let's shout out to all you guys in the chat, man. Let's see what else you guys got going on. Reverend Bronx is on the edit board. Thank you. Thank you. We don't buy points or chop anything. Redbird says, smoke a doobie before the dentist. I told you, they were like, why is your mouth so dry? I was up drinking till like 3 a.m. and it's 8. That's why my mouth's so dry. Don't fixes just got hammered. Just get hammered before the appointment. I think it's 11:40, so that's a tough situation for me. Plant-based says, salute Mikey Money. Shout out to you, plant-based. Ramon Scott says, Cunningham out tonight versus Chi-Town, the Windy City. Peter Grass says, you'll be fine. Modern dentistry's painless. I'd rather take a hit from an NFL linebacker than go to the dentist. Me too. Jerry Davis on Utah. Too many for me. No altitude edge for Colorado. I like Colorado, but just think it's a couple possessions. Think about this, though, dude. I get what you're saying. But as bad as they've been in terms of spread production and results, they're laying the 10.5 spot. I don't know. We'll see. Andrew Case is Harden. Over 7.5 assists. Blake M. Root canals aren't that bad. It just sucks, man. It's like one of those things where it's like I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I'll tell you what, this is one of those things I would wish on somebody else. If somebody else could step in there and take this bullet for me, I would fucking appreciate it. But I'll just man up. Let's man up and move on to the NHL. Some fun games tonight. Kind of got mopped yesterday in the NHL. Didn't have my best performance out there. I was a little disappointed to see the least. And the Sharp Perspective betting report is kind of cooled down a little bit. In fairness, some weird games on the calendar tonight. The Dallas Stars and the Capitals. This is going to be their third, not their third road game, I guess. It's their second now, but third game. The Buffalo Sabres game still got in my head with that Dallas Stars and Washington Capitals spot. The Calgary Flames and the Montreal Canadiens is the spot that I want to look at first. Dustin Wolf gets in the starting lineup this evening for the Calgary Flames. What can he do for you is the question out there. The Flames have been rolling. 16, 11, and 2. Fighting for that playoff spot. I love how everybody talks about playoff spots so early in the season. But hey, whatever. It's a measuring stick. And look, this guy's playing better. Dustin Wolf side of things here. 2.45 goals against average. He's at 2.9 on the season. So frankly, getting better. But the pendulum swings back. He's allowed 4 goals in his last 2 games out there. A piece. Not combined. A piece. And Montreal's playing with fucking reckless abandon right now. They are on fire. They're playing hot. They're one of the hottest teams in the East. They've got points in 8 of their last 9. They're 6-1-2. They're in it to the end. Great live betting team. You get a great live betting team when you're 6-1-2 because you got a lot of tight games, low totals, or they're even down, and they just keep fighting till the end. So keep that in mind as we look at tonight's game because I am going to take the Canadians here. But I'm going to lay the -1. Montreal -1. Even money price tag. Just 150 is just getting a little too high for me. And part of the reason why I like Montreal is as much as I talked to. So if you take a look at the analysis here, I'm not a big home road splits. I kind of don't think it really matters in hockey. Never really got through a hockey game either as a player or a coach and thought, oh fuck, this is a tough barn to play in. Or there was one barn. There was one barn that had it was on a lake, one of the Great Lakes, one of the Finger Lakes, excuse me, and it had 3 sides open to the actual lake, right? That one sucked, because like at the time we wore those like clear plastic visors. And those fucking things fog up, and not only did they fog up, they iced up, and the snow would literally be coming in. So like that was the only time I ever cared about that. But that being said, Dustin Wolf's ERA or goals against average, it's almost double when he goes on the road as opposed to when he's playing at home. So there are some times that I will acknowledge there's a potential bag of shit factor when it comes to a guy stepping away. And it's probably in part because it's his second season in the NHL. I don't have a single trend. I haven't seen this in so long where it's like every trend I've got in my book tells me to play Montreal. Not a one of them says play Calgary. Not a one of them talks about the total. It just says bang away on Montreal. I thought about stepping it up and just laying the big juice out there, but Fowler's got back-to-back losses. But then follows it up with a big win against St. Louis. So, or I'm sorry, a big save game against St. Louis. So I think that both goalies become the question mark. I don't want to get involved in the total. I don't want to get involved in any fuckery. I just want the -1. Just Montreal -1. Fair price tag to pay for that thing as well. So we'll take Montreal. We'll bank on the fact that, yes, Calgary's hot right now, but no, I don't believe in their goaltender, especially when he's away from his home rink. As the NHL kicks off for us. Peter says, love La Habitats in this spot too. Montreal first home after 7 road games, usually bad. I'll tell you what. No, I don't believe in that, Kelly B. But now that you mention it, I am going to see who they placed because I think it's the second game home that we've been charting this year that's been the problem spot for them. So let's take a look. Since we're here, since we have a minute, let's be proactive about our capping so we can get some of these. Just save me some time. I don't have to look it up the next time out there. So they got Calgary. Obviously, fuck, hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong button. Button. Who's got the button? Let's see. Florida. There it is. Oh, man, and Florida's been playing such mediocre puck lately. What a great spot. What do you think that price tag is going to be? All right, we're going to take the Florida. Oh, man, and they're rested on top of it, and they're already in Canada. Oh, man. What night is that? Tomorrow. Fucking A, right. Oh, and oh, man. Well, here's some intersection, and it's Florida on a Thursday, KB. That sounds like a Canadians and under parlay as well. I'm excited for that one. That'll be fun to see. She says, play Florida tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. And that's Florida. Yeah, there you go. I was looking at the screen. You're on the same page. We're on the same page. Oh, it's so much fun to have some of these spots that we can just kind of rock and roll with out there. Let's keep her going. Let's talk about this next game in the association here or in the NHL. The Ottawa Senators, the Utah Mammoth, the big announcement, the Utah Mammoth going to get an outdoor hockey game. Think of how far that franchise has come. Nobody showed up in Winnipeg. They get leased out to Arizona. Nobody shows up in Arizona, in the desert. And now they're at altitude in Utah, which I think they have one of the coolest looking practice facilities in the game. Or at least they did last year. I mean, it's all brand new this year, but outdoor hockey in a football stadium. Where's it? I didn't see the official announcement, but I saw that Gary Bettman was doing a press release at Utah college football stadium. Or was it college? I think it was college football stadium. So expect there to be an outdoor hockey game for the Utah Mammoth. Why not, man? That's a fun spot. They got nice looking jerseys. I don't know who they're going to play. Who do they end up playing? Has it been announced? Let me look. Let me look here. Just type in Utah Mammoth outdoor hockey game and see what they say. Oh, man. Oh, man, what a fun game that's going to be. The Utah Mammoth and the Colorado Avalanche at the Utah Utes Stadium. Bang. Bang. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hopefully Colorado gets to wear their Nordique jerseys. That's what they should do. Anyhow, I digress. Get easily distracted these days, you guys. That's so much fun. Dustin says abs. There you go. There you go. Oh, that'll be a cool game. That'll be a really cool game. Anyhow, Ottawa Senators, just because it's a different scene. You know, it's like all these shitbags that were hating on the Florida Winter Classic. Like, you're just naive to the way shit works is what it comes down to. Like, people are like, oh, it was miserable. What a shit. They're in Florida. It's fucking 70 degrees. They're playing hockey and they got the roof open. They sell the place out because look like a cool scene, cool event center. And then on top of it, you got to recognize that they've won the Stanley Cup down in Florida like 6 of the last 8 years or something fucking ridiculous, right? So it makes sense. Sorry, I hate the fact that they play Canada in hockey, and I hate the fact that they play Canada in Florida, Texas for that matter too. But they do. And so, what are we going to do? They can't just play it in my backyard 24/7, 365. They're welcome to it, but they can't really do that. So I just like to see those new, like when, who was it? Was it Vegas that played I can't remember who played at Lake Tahoe. Was it Lake Tahoe? And they had the cool mountains in the background. Like, that was fucking cool, man. Cool scenery, cool stuff to see out there. So anyhow, Kelly V says, Ottawa Stutzla, 13 games in a row with a point. Wow. Over 1.5 points today for him, she says. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm looking at the over in this game for a couple of reasons. Primarily, I was looking at this goaltender situation. Moneylines, Karel Vejmelka. Utah seems at home to score goals, find a way to get the puck in the net, but they are feast or famine. So they're scoring a shitload of goals or they're not scoring enough. And the thing is, when they look at the other side of things, Levi Moneylines has a 3.49 goals against average. You got inconsistency in Vejmelka. You got a bag of used mammoth dong on the other side of things in Moneylines here. And you got an Ottawa team that's been, hanging in there. They're not ready to quit on the season by any stretch out there. I think what this Ottawa team, I think where we're going to find Ottawa goes on a hell of a run is into and out of the Olympic break. And the reason being is that, they're kind of just lying in the weeds right now. I mean, they're pretty much a 500 squad. They're 10-8-2 on the road. So they're just hanging in. They just haven't started clicking. They've had to deal with some injuries on top of that, but, still scoring goals. They put up a 4-3 win against the Capitals, a 4-2 win against the Jets, a 5-3 loss to Detroit in recent form. They're finding the back of the net. So it's just a matter of time before they catch their groove. I know it's on the road. I think that does, with the elevation factor, I think that does give us the opportunity to look for goals, look for a faster paced game. And then tell me they're playing Colorado next. Yep. Schedule makers be looking out, man. Let's go. Colorado Avalanche. We'll take the Avalanche on the puck line on that January 8th. Oh man, it just falls fucking so in line. They just lost last night, Colorado, after those back-to-back losses. God damn. You got to love it when things work out. So we got 2 hockey plays for tomorrow as we're rolling through the NHL here tonight for you guys. How about that? Write them down. Make sure you take a note. But I'm going to go with the over 6 in that game. And then St. Louis Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks. I guess this one comes down to I can't believe that this carriage hasn't turned into a pumpkin yet. Is that fair to say? Looking at these squads, looking at these spots. What I mean by that specifically is without Connor Bedard, this team still finds a way to keep winning games, and he's going to come back, and they're going to be a wreck. They're going to be a force. Problem is you got Jordan Binnington. He's a force. He's the Team Canadian force. Then you got Spencer Knight. He's a force. That 2.6 guy coming in got traded up from the Florida Panthers out there. And the Blackhawks, they went through shit. They got better. Knight's been playing great. It's going to be a low-scoring game, I suspect. I think in the lower-scoring game, though, I got to look at the team that, I just think has better talent. They're more deep. In terms of that carriage turning into the pumpkin here, I just think it's time for this Chicago Blackhawks team to just fall apart. You're young. You're inexperienced. You're playing well beyond your means, and you're without one of the best talents in hockey. We got a favorite for a reason out there. Blackhawks are 3-0-1 in their last 4. That's the part that kind of gets me on the fence of this thing. But I'll tell you what pulled me over the line. The fact that there are 2 things. One, they're playing the West. If you fade Chicago Blackhawks against the West, you're 34-19. Even though they're 3-0-1 in their last 4. They do have the road favorite with the rest advantage situation going for St. Louis. We know that continues to cash. Kind of in a little 5-5 slump, but they've got rest advantage in their back pocket. And then as a dog, Chicago against the Central Division are 44-123. It's almost a 70% win percentage for fading the Chicago Blackhawks in this spot. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the St. Louis Blues. -110 feels like a fair price as a favorite. I got 4 NBA games for you, and then we will kick the tires and light the fires. As they said in Top Gun. I like that Stutzla point spot. Take a look at that. I'm going to write that one down, KV. I'm going to write that down. And we got 3 plays for hockey tomorrow. We got that Florida under. We got the Florida Panthers. What are the Florida Panthers going to be priced at tomorrow? Do you think it's going to matter what today's game looks like? Probably. Let's see. Oh, man. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do not wait. It was -116. It's now -132 for the Florida Panthers. Don't wait. Wow. What's the total done? All right, it's moving. It's a lot of cash, a lot of money coming. It's early, but early sharp money taking the over in that game. Sitting at 5.5, seeing some 6s. And then for shits and gigs, there it is. Don't wait. You might be able to wait. I don't know. I might not wait. When I say don't wait, I mean, you can wait tonight, but don't go to bed if you're going to play these spots until you take them, right? Because you're not going to get the Colorado Avalanche on the puck line tomorrow at +105. My guess is going to be it'll be down to -110. I mean, unless these teams win, I guess you could always consider that. But there's going to be some line movement. Redbeard hopes it gets to 6.5. Mr. Wesker says light is fire. Man, no diddy. Toronto Raptors and the Charlotte Hornets. I gave this play out earlier today on the gram, you guys. The Instagram play of the day is live. We've been running. It's funny. I was thinking to myself, man, we're 7-1 in our last 8 again. We were 7-1 in our last 8 the other day after taking a loss, but it's like we're stringing together good runs and then we catch it out. Then we string together good runs and then we catch it out. So it's been a pretty consistent tool. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I realized I wasn't even following like ESPN and NFL and NHL. So I gotta beef up my follower game is what it comes down to. But the content game is there. Plenty of plays, getting the free play of the day out there. But I did post it out there. I did take the Toronto Raptors for all of the aforementioned reasons. I'm sure you've heard from everybody today. I mean, it is a bounce back revenge spot. It is the situation where the Hornets have come off the biggest win of their season outright, by the way, at like a plus 900 dog. Some people are like, I gave it out as a dog. You always give out dogs, dude. You know, it's like the guys in the UFC that are like, oh, I cashed a plus 400 dog. Well, you take the fucking dog in every fight. So you should have cashed a plus, but you're still down. Either way, though, this Toronto Raptors team did move from -2 to -1.5. So there's some 2s and 2.5s out there. So it's kind of a funky line. It does make me a little nervous that the entire fucking planet seems to be on this team. And for the same reason. I mean, it's like, what, triple revenge situation for the Toronto Raptors on top of that? Kind of some interesting spots. This is a few of these games. One, how the hell did the Hornets beat OKC Thunder on the road? And they beat them by almost 30 points. They were 16-point dogs. That don't make any sense to me. But you got another situation here, another game on the road. This will be 4 straight. And this Raptors team's been, excuse me. Scratch that. Reverse it. First game back home for the Hornets. Toronto has been nestled in at home for quite a bit of time here. 5 straight games. They've been winning, though. 4-1 against the spread. You're telling me this Charlotte Hornets team, who's been traveling, they're tired, and they just came off of a 30-point beatdown of the OKC Thunder, are going to somehow manage a Raptors team that's been feisty and wiry and healthy, by the way? Players back. I mean, look at the injury report for the Hornets. Talk about a mash unit. I mean, I guess the good news is they're alternates. They're alternating probable and out, probable and out, probable and out, probable and out. So you can't. You just can't bet the Hornets. Listen, if you bet the Hornets tonight and you win, you're an asshole. That is my assessment for that game. And everybody's on Toronto, so it makes me incredibly nervous. Tell me about the make some other time. Great movie, isn't it? Scotty Barnes going to bitch slap the Hornets, says Mr. Wesker. Shout out to Markel. Look at Kelly B says, didn't bet it, but Dallas is 12-2 on the second leg of a back-to-back. Peter Grau, you guys love that time. I'm going to have to get some, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to find a Top Gun clip for us here. Maybe, I thought about the one where they're playing beach volleyball and they do the high five thing, but I don't know. Kind of didn't feel right clipping a video of some dudes playing volleyball with their shirts off on a beach. Like it just, I mean, I can handle it, but it just didn't seem like I just don't want to take the ball breaking that's going to go into it when everybody realizes what we're watching. That's what it came down to. Appreciate all you guys rocking here. Let's go. Let's keep her moving. Let's keep this thing going here. We got a couple games left for you guys in the association, the Hardwood Association here, the National Load Management Association, and it's going to take on the Wizards. And Nicholas says, everybody but Goose. Meg Ryan was good looking in that too, wasn't she? The Wizards and although whatever. I don't want to digress here. Let's get this thing over with. Wizards and Sixers. Bottom line for you. Shout out to Vitalis. Shout out to Vitalis. Chimes in just as I said. If you win, you're an asshole. If you win, you're an asshole, Vitalis. You got that truck driving school number I saw on TV the other night? Shout out to you, Vitalis. I hope you're doing well, man. Happy New Year to you, my friend. The Wizards and the Sixers, guys, you know the deal. You know what we've been doing. Everyone's surprised that the Wizards are finding a way to print money, and we are not, because we have been getting that money. We have been standing in line with our ATM cards in our pockets because they're printing for us. And bottom line, Road Dogs in Philly have produced and performed. Well, I can't believe that the Hornets beat OKC Thunder. I can't believe the Denver Nuggets beat the Sixers the other day. I was going to say Phillies. The Sixers the other day. That makes no sense. But this line at 13.5, I liked it. At 16.5, I love it. The Sixers 0-16, home favorites. against a team that allows more than 12 threes and made more than 10 threes their previous game. In other words, it's going to be a shootout. And it's just too many points for the Sixers to cover in the long run. Not enough defense being played. Maybe that is the case. Maybe that's not the case. But I think the case is that 16.5 points is too many points. We know the Sixers play up or down to their competition. And just the only thing I could say, potentially, the Sixers could be so fired up and pissed off that they lost outright to the Nuggets that they just go out here and fucking steamroll this Wizards team. But how much of a steamroll are you going to put in at 16.5 points? You got to do some steaming to get that steamroller going like that. So we'll take the Wizards at the 16.5. We're going to take the Clippers on the over in this spot as well. We're going to take the 222.5 for this over. Another Clippers over that I'm fucking just, I don't know. Can I say I'm a sucker for punishment? It's not true. 5.5s have moved to 5s. 68% of the bet, 68% of the cash on the Clip Show. And they're playing the New York Knickerbockers at Madison Square Garden with a total 86% of the bets and 86% of the cash. That's come down a point from 223.5 to 222.5. And yet here I am. I'm doing it again. Because 17 straight times the over has cashed. High-scoring favorites. Teams off a home stand. In other words, they're making that road trip. 98-50, 17 straight wins in this situation. One of the biggest trends on the board tonight. It just sucks. It has to be the Clippers that I'm involved with again. So I'm back in the Clip business on the total in this case. Maybe the better play is the Knickerbockers team total over, but fuck it. You know? And then last but not least, we're going to go to the Suns and Grizzlies. Yeah, we're involved in the Suns and Grizzlies game again. Oh, Vital says, damn, Mikey, we like the Sixers tonight and Maxi points for a prop. Oh, no, I don't like to see that. Please teaser, Hot City, says Kelly V. FB Gotti. Okay, seeing that record never sounded right. Hat Hornets Moneyline, says FB Gotti. Nicholas saying this is Val Rules. Jeez, you guys are fucking some fun tonight, man. Too bad we don't have a live show going on this evening because it'd be fun to see you guys break it down like a pound. Let's go Suns and take the Suns here. The Sun, son. Here comes the Sun. Here comes us on the Sun. This line opened up at 4.5. It's moved to 6 and now 7. How about that? There's 7s out there. But yet you've got 56% of the bets and 55% of the cash on the Memphis Grizzlies. If you watch the way they played the last 3 games, I can't believe they covered for us last night. 229.5 moved to 231.5, 71% of the bet, 79% of the cash on the over. And I'll leave you guys with this closing thought. These Suns have been fucking everybody up as a favorite. They're 12-0 in the favorite role. If you fade Memphis as a dog with a total over 228.5, 26-4-2. The only thing I can hope for in this game is that, yes, the Suns throttle these boys. Against conference rivals, the Suns are 23-8. I hope they throttle these boys, and I hope that Memphis scores 119 points, because you know what happens after Memphis scores over 118.5 points. We fade them. That's the way we're doing it. Lots of look-ahead spots in the show tonight, you guys. You can tell these seasons are maturing nicely and that we're all on point with our game. So appreciate everybody being here, man. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. And leave a comment to the show. Let me know your favorite bet. What's your best bet? Let's get this stuff going out there. Let's see if we can handle some of these big point spreads, some of these potential blowouts, and all the rest. You guys have a great evening on behalf of the Sports Money